What started out as a WhatsApp group of friends spawned into a forum for debating and rating the films they saw. Then, one of them had an idea. Instead of typing their opinions, why not record them on a podcast? No Trailer Productions proudly presents Those Movie Review Guys. This podcast may contain spoilers.
You talking to me?
I will find you and I will kill you.
To infinity and beyond.
I am your father.
Bond. James Bond.
Here's Johnny.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
First rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
Hasta la vista, baby.
And here we go.
Hello and welcome to the show. We are Those Movie Review Guys, four guys from London who love to watch, discuss and review movies. On every show we will look at a selection of titles, give our thoughts and feelings towards each one and then conclude each review with a coveted #TMRG star rating. As always, I'm joined by the fabulous
Giles,
Omari,
Kyle.
In today's show, we will be reviewing Nope and Bullet Train. But before we get into the show, make sure you're subscribing across all major streaming platforms. You can find us under Those Movie Review Guys. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and YouTube, to name a few. And get in touch with us as well at TMRG Podcast across all social media.
So normally at this part of the show, we do a highlight from the week past. But I think it's only before we even get into a highlight, I've got to say something. Before we get any further into the show, well, actually, I say it, but I'm going to sing it. Ding. Ding, 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 ding. Boys are back in town.
Fucking hell.
Lads, how long has it been, man?
2 years.
2 days.
Almost to the day.
Very long time.
Almost to the day.
2 years, 2 days.
Almost to the day. Mad.
Well, I've been in a hyperbolic sleep, so you're going to have to fill me in with everything that's been happening since our last recording, episode 17, way back in, was it 2020 now?
2020.
Start of 2020.
2020.
Well,
What
do
a
you want
year.
the good news or the bad news?
Hit me both.
The good news is UK has sun.
That is very true.
Yeah, but Amari, can I just... That's a little bit misleading, isn't it?
No. I said
Just
sun.
say
I
the
didn't say what kind of sun. I said sun.
But even to say the UK has sun, it's got sun now. It hasn't had sun for the entirety of the last 2 years.
Yeah, but I'm only talking about the good part. So let's say the sun for the last 2 months.
Oh, okay. All right.
So what do you want me?
Okay.
You want
What's
specifics?
the bad news, though?
Oh,
Yeah, of course.
Well, the world's gone to a piss up.
2 years of specifics to catch up on.
No, the world's gone to a piss up so we can invade other countries who are not countries. And then we can also pay £2 for gas, electric, cars, petrol, whatever that same shit is. And
If we were paying £2 for gas, electric, I'd literally be smiling all day long. If only we were paying £2.
You got to tell me your energy supplier is.
No,
Yeah, £2.
I need to.
You know what I think he's done? I think he's gone to Poundland, he's bought a hammer and he's bought a chisel. He's been making holes in his back garden. He's somehow found gas because that's the only way he's going to get gas for £2. My God. Add 3 zeros on the end of it and that's my gas bill, bruv.
Hey.
Mental. Mental.
Yeah. A day.
Oh no, we got a new. Wait. We got a new prime minister. I don't know if that's good or bad. See, a lot of things have happened.
Well, have we got?
not
We have
officially.
a new one. We just don't know who it is.
No, we're not
Like,
officially.
the old one's going.
Well, then it hasn't.
Yeah, well, then we haven't got a
Okay.
new one.
You know what? You see your technical bullshit. Yeah, all of you lot, fuck yourselves, right? I was very clear.
Whoa. I just clearly said I'm not in politics. What have I got to do with it?
I don't care.
Prime
I know what I
Minister?
said. Yeah, there's a prime minister.
Yeah.
I just see people in suits on the TV talking in a very controlled and tested manner. I don't know.
Oh,
about
you mean
prime
like
ministers.
AJ?
For all I know, you could be going up for the
Wait,
next one.
you mean
about
controlled like AJ?
Nah, see.
It's about controls a
We
bit
ain't got
much.
time. We ain't got time.
I know. That's
there's
a whole
always
show
time.
in itself. That's
Me
a
and
whole
you need to
show
have a
in itself.
conversation about AJ anyway, but let's not even get into it.
Well, I always want him to lose anyway. So this is.
What the hell is this? How are you going to turn another brother down like this?
By the way, he's always been fake, and he's shown his true self. Anyway,
I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry. Sorry, lads. We can't have a 2 year what's happened in the last 2 years and mention AJ when it's not even
24 hours.
It's not even fucking 24 hours old. Fuck AJ.
Well, he lost to Ruiz. Was that in the last 2 years? That embarrassing loss.
Yeah, twice. He's lost twice in 2 years.
He's
lost twice in 2 years.
Kyle, me and you will have a conversation about AJ.
He's always been fake, and he showed his true colours last night.
Anyway, we're all here.
Yeah, let's.
Cinema is bar Cineworld. It's still there.
Cinema's not alive.
Wow.
Cineworld's
still there. Listen, don't listen. Cineworld is still alive and kicking. Don't get it twisted. Don't.
It was under duress before lockdown. It survived lockdown, and then we've now come out the other side, and it's now on life support. I cannot lie. That's where it is.
Yeah, I think their foundation is looking very matchstick right now.
Yeah, but that's no different. I mean, that's no different to Man United. To be honest,
this is not a football podcast.
Oh yeah, so actually, since we're just going to touch ever so briefly on football in the last 2 years, since we last recorded, my team has won a Premier League title. Not bad.
Congratulations.
How did your team fare, Carl?
Man, listen,
it took what 30 years, but you got there in the end.
Listen, I'm just gonna say, Carl, it's 10 years and counting for you guys.
Listen,
don't
we're not talking football.
Yeah, don't listen. Anyway,
we can talk about cinema.
Yeah, well, yeah. More to the point, and more importantly, there's since we last all sat round and did this, the world has changed. It hasn't got any better. It just seems to be getting worse and worse by the day. And yet here we are, still here, 2 years later, still able to do this. So, that in itself.
I hear that. And I've got to say a big shout out to Amari, because we always seem to be the ones trying to get it to happen. And he's actually the one who's managed to get this episode together. So props to you, Amari. Respect, man. It's good to be back.
So does that mean we've got to tell you off for being on a long team?
We'll deal with that in a second. Wait, we'll deal with that. I just want to say that this next weekend is one of the ultimate enjoyment weekends to take place, because obviously Carnival is back. I feel like everything is coming back to life now. Just the enjoyment, the lights, the colours. Can we just say it's going to be a good August? It's going to be a great August. Trust me on that.
Carnival.
To be fair, there's only like 10 days left of August, so.
Well, I mean, look, isn't it great to be able to go to the cinema again? I mean, jokes aside, I think we all kind of felt that, would we be able to watch films in the cinema? Like, we obviously reviewed like our favourites, and we'll be doing more shows like that anyway. However, I must say, to be able to go to the cinema, watch the film on a big screen, have the immersive experience, all of that, what a blessing. Everything just feels a bit sweeter now coming out of the pandemic than it did going in. However, I think it's still safe to say that maybe certain films should have stayed in that pre-pandemic, should have stayed on a pre-pandemic shelf. And I say that to say, why don't we get into our first film? Film number 1, Nope, released on August the 12th, 2022. Directed by Jordan Peele, starring Daniel Kaluuya as O.J. Hayward, Keke Palmer as Emerald Hayward, Brandon Perea as Angel Torres, and Stephen Yeun as Ricky Jupe Park. The residents of a lonely gulch in inland California bear witness to an uncanny and chilling discovery.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Hey!
Giles, were you entertained?
Nope.
Amari, were you entertained?
Maybe yes.
I knew he was going to fucking say that.
Some things never change. Kyle, were you entertained?
Yes.
Bastard.
Interesting.
Was you entertained?
Not a chance in hell. Who's starting this? Who's starting this?
Nope.
Who's starting this?
I say maybe. And
no, but you can't sit on the fence.
It's true, because we don't sit on the fence with that.
Okay, but I said maybe yes. Isn't it? So I said yes.
You said yes.
All right. So, because obviously, if a film looks like juju to me, as we know, everyone knows, if it's juju, I don't want to watch it. Now, this looked like juju from the way it was portrayed, and then I found out that it's about aliens, kind of, somehow, somewhat, thoughts. And then I was like, ooh, now I'm entertained. And that's why I said maybe entertained. Yes. And that's my only point for this whole film.
What was entertaining about this film? Please tell me.
There was two parts. One when I thought it wasn't Juju and it's about aliens, made it entertaining. Just the idea that it wasn't about Juju and it was about aliens made it entertaining to me.
Pause. That's you adding your own entertainment into the film. That doesn't necessarily mean what you saw was entertaining.
Yeah, but you asked me why I was entertained and I told you why.
No, but if I go to watch a film, if I go to watch a film and I'm thinking about something else that I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's my own entertainment. That's nothing that what you're seeing or hearing is entertaining.
No, but it's about the film because obviously all these films are like horror, juju, whatever related. And when it transitioned to a different kind of conversation, I was like, oh, this is entertaining. So yes, I was kind of entertained. That's why I put the maybe.
So it was the suspense. The suspense entertained you.
And I also like the fact, I haven't done no fact finding though. I like the fact that it was based on the first original Black Horse Handler technique behind it. I did find that kind of entertaining. Like, it was knowledgeable. I like getting knowledged. I haven't done any fact finding on this though, so I have to come back to you with that. So bear with me. And I also thought Gordo was very entertaining for Gordo's killing spree. I thought that was entertaining. I never seen a man get pounded like that by a fur. It was nice.
It was nice.
Yeah.
That's the word you're choosing to use, nice. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't want to go out like that, but I'm saying it's a nice way to see somebody get killed. You know.
Wow. It's a bit dark, isn't it, Amarin? It's a bit dark.
I'm sorry. I think you was just bored. When did you see this film?
Today.
Okay, so maybe you were so excited about this recording that's what has provided some of the entertainment for you. But now this film was dead. I knew it. I said to you, I think Jordan Peele is a one-trick pony. I think he got lucky with Get Out. Brilliant film, masterpiece. You know, that will always be remembered. It was very innovative. Great film. 5 stars. Can't say anything there.
Just to touch on Get Out. I don't think he got lucky with it. I think it was actually a good film.
When I say got lucky, I mean in the sense of, no, it was a great film, but I think he got lucky in being able to make a film of that caliber. So maybe it's not luck. Maybe that's the wrong thing to say. I think it was a brilliant. No, you're right. It was a brilliant film.
There are haters in this room.
Do you know what it is though? When a man gives, all right, let's be relative. When a director makes numerous films and only one of them is on that level, that's where I think the kind of you've caught lightning in a bottle once and that's it. Whereas if you look at some directors that churn out classics, churn out at least 4-star films, you know, okay, this is a credible, smart, brilliant director. But someone who's won for 3 now, and that's my personal opinion.
But Get Out was his first film, so he's still making his niche to grow
that's what I was
for
gonna
himself and the directive enjoyment of others. He's still got time. It's not like he's 10 films down the line.
I understand that, but this film was dead.
It was dead. It wasn't dead.
Can I just say, I although I wasn't entertained, it wasn't a dead film. I think the pacing of the film was off in all over the film, but so going back to, if you go over his filmography, so like you said, he's made Get Out. It was very easy to follow along. It was a very easy watch. Yes, there was some symbolism, but again, it was obvious. Then he's come with Us. So he established himself with Get Out. We can't deny him that. Then he's come with Us, and yeah, it wasn't to everyone's taste. And in actual fact, I was thinking about this today. Us was one of the reasons why we even started this podcast in the first place, because I remember having a back and forth over it via WhatsApp. And I was like, no, we need to put this shit on. We need to start the podcast. And then you come to Nope, and yeah, it's blatantly not obvious, the mess, because he's all about messages, and it's blatantly not obvious. It's not in your face as to what he is trying to say or trying to put across. So as much as I wasn't entertained, I don't actually think, on reflection, because I only saw this today as well, on reflection, having kind of looked up, well, what was he trying to say here? What was the meaning of that? Why did he do that? Yeah, it wasn't at all a bad film. I just think the pacing, the film for me was in two bits. It was in two halves. You had the first half, which was incredibly seemed like, what's going on here? Got horses, monkeys, flashbacks, this, that, till the second half, which was quite, okay, we figured out what's going on. We figured out we've got an adversary. We figured out how to beat him and all the rest of it.
I second what Giles is saying because, as I said, I watched it twice. So the first time I was like, no, this is dead. This is a bit boring. But then when I watched it the second time, I liked it a lot more. Even though it was only a day apart, I had time to actually sit with it. And there was things I was noticing that I didn't notice the first time. And I looked back through my notes and I was
like what? What made this? No. I'm really trying to understand this. What made this film entertaining to you? And I'll just put this as a precursor. Cinematography. Yeah, I'm starting to think it's not actually that hard to make a film look good if you're using a certain type of camera, certain style, and you're doing certain things. It's not that hard. So
why do you say that?
Because the cinematography in the film was great.
It was.
I think the way that he shot the landscapes, the close-ups, the way that he kind of.
So why are you saying that's? Why are you saying that's easy though?
Because you'll get that from.
You don't think that was intentional?
No, because most films that, from my perspective, that I watch, most films that I watch, I'm getting that vibe from them. But that's what I need to know, Carl. Because for me, I get the whole messages thing, but it was so slow. The pacing was horrible, and the messages he was trying to bring across weren't really clear. And I'm not trying to say, I need to know everything in a film from start to finish. I walk out and I know exactly what everything means. No, go and do your research. But I just felt that the film was boring. Daniel Kaluuya, we know, can act, but I don't think there was anything, out of this world or that we haven't seen before in his performance. Keke Palmer was borderline annoying, but added a comedic value, which I understand. Outside of them two, the other characters, was I supposed to care about the guy, Dupe? Was I supposed to, like, the guy that installed the cameras? Was I supposed to care? The weird director, what the hell was that about? Like, there wasn't anything
great
in
voice,
this
though,
film
didn't he? He had a great voice, didn't he?
He did, to be fair. That really made me want to know what was going to happen next or what was going on. And then when the whole reveal with the alien, I just thought, what? This is it was just a bit too disjointed for me, a bit too random.
But didn't you think that, so the actual scenes with the alien, didn't you find them entertaining?
After I'd seen the first two, I was like, okay. And again, this is my thing with aliens, yeah? We've been spoiled. We've been spoiled. We've seen it all now. So if you're going to step into the alien realm, you either have to, one, do it in a graphic sense where, for example, the first time we saw, what's the name of the alien in Alien? I can't remember the name, but the first time you see that and it's a spectacle, the dripping teeth, the big long head, the sound, like it's got that wow factor to it. If you're not going to go that way, you're going to go psychological, then I need to feel like almost like scared or squeamish of what is this alien going to look like? How's it going to sound? What's it going to use the suspense to create the entertainment? Bro, some flying thing moving bare fast in the air and then almost like a flying saucer. So that's how I felt. I was like, is this an alien? Is it a flying saucer?
No, but when it was... I thought it was beautiful. It was eerie. It was eerie to me. The word I would use is eerie.
See, now that's how I know you ain't been out in a while, mate. You ain't been out in a while. Beautiful, you know.
No, when it even towards the end, when it really opens up and it is like...
Have you not seen Finding Nemo? Have you not seen the scene with the jellyfish? You're a David Attenborough guy as well, so I can't believe you're saying that.
But it wasn't.
Maybe that's why you're saying that. Maybe that's why you're saying that.
But wait. So the man who hasn't been to the cinema said to the other man that you haven't been out enough. You see what you're saying?
Because he called the alien in Nope beautiful. I'm sorry.
It was eerily beautiful. It was eerily beautiful. I liked the actual look of the alien. I really did. I thought that's what I'm saying. I was entertained. But I completely agree with you. The pacing was off. So you're going to know where my rating is anyway, because there's definitely pacing issues. But I like the messages that he presented. And I like the scenes when the alien is around. I thought they were quite suspenseful. I did. I didn't think they were boring. It just took too long to get to that part.
Get there.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Sorry, Giles. What messages took place? Just so we're both all four of us are all clear.
Do we want to
on the
go
same
through
things.
all of it, or
Well, just the main ones. You know, the main outliers.
Els, what message did
right,
you
what
get?
did you get? Oh yeah,
And again, I didn't even pick up on this until Amber said it. I think I would have got it, but she was very much. And again, this might just be where I'm African, she's Caribbean. I didn't have pets growing up. But when it comes to animals, I wouldn't say I'm an animal guy. I've got fish now, but that's as far as my kind of love for animals goes, whereas she's got a dog. And so her thing straight away was very much the message of looking after animals. The message that I kind of picked up on after Amber said was the whole exploitation of animals, looking after and caring for animals, which made sense, obviously, with the whole Hayward family, with the horses, Duke being a child star, working with animals, and then the animal lashed back, and then he's grown up and for some reason now turned to exploiting animals. So that was the only message I kind of got. Outside of that, everything else I'd say would be a reach, so I'll move it on.
even from did you capture the Bible verse right at the beginning of the film? Yeah.
I didn't dwell on it, no.
Okay. I will read it back to you. I will pelt you with filth. I will treat you with contempt and make you a spectacle. So based on that, you would have easily got the animal stuff again, just using them and not to mess around with animals. But even outside of that, just Hollywood in general, did you get the messages, what they were saying about Hollywood?
No, but based on you now asking me that question, I could work it out. For example, the whole TMZ bit, and it's all about making money, exploiting. It's something we can use to generate revenue, basically.
I feel like each character had its own kind of quite distinctive message. So, for example, Keke Palmer's character, I can't really recall much I've seen Keke Palmer in. I know Keke Palmer in. I know she's been around a long time. She's been acting since she was a little girl. But she was quite annoying. She did come across like a really budget Tiffany Haddish, who's equally annoying. But yeah, like a toned down Tiffany Haddish who'd been out in the desert looking at aliens. But anyway, so for example, like her whole thing was obviously her family business was horses. Yeah, and if you go back to when they first went to the movie set, and they had the whole kind of spiel written about, you all know who the name of the guy who shot the video, but you don't know the name of the guy who was in the video. Yeah, and he's our relative, but we ain't getting no credit for that. So her whole thing was, hold on, nah. Yeah, I want fame and fortune, but I want my family's name recognized. And again, that's something that happens all too often. Do you understand what I'm saying? So again, it's not an obvious message, but it is. Do you understand what I'm saying? So again, it's only, like I said, it just took too long to get there.
Yeah, but what happened when we got there, though? When we got there, it just kind of turned into, like, I understand, like, these kind of slow burner, read between the lines. I'm going to show you something, let it fester, think about it. I get that. But again, I just don't know if using the whole alien element was that successful, or was that... It didn't work. It really didn't work. Like, because again, one would think that, okay, cool, in this scenario, I'm supposed to care about this animal rather than just, it's an alien, we got to kill, But I didn't give a monkeys because it was just too silly.
But weren't you interested in what was going on?
No, because nothing else around. No, because, all right, the bottom line is this is an alien film. Yeah, this is a sci-fi. Or it's a thriller, but it's got a sci-fi element. Yeah? No, it has, because we're talking about flying things around and aliens. So that's what it is.
It's a sci-fi film, but there is thriller.
I wouldn't say it's an alien.
What was thrilling about this film? What was thrilling? What made you want to know what's going to happen next? Outside of the fact, okay, we've established there's a UFO. So what's going to happen next? They're going to either kill it or they're going to catch it.
Well, maybe the motives as to what was going on. Because again, initially you thought, you saw a UFO, but it wasn't just a UFO.
Exactly.
It was an actual entity.
Yeah.
And like Carl said, and again, even the entity that we were seeing throughout the film, that only revealed itself in the last 15 minutes of the film. Anyway,
Yeah. So I wanted to know what was going on.
Yeah, the storyline wasn't. If that was more like thrilling, if it made me care, or there was a bit more sort of like depth to the storyline itself, then maybe I would have cared. But I think they kind of just fleeted around the storyline because Jordan was more concerned about the last message that we see with the whole, okay, animals caring through it. Obviously, Daniel Kaluuya's character has been the same throughout, from obviously in the beginning when you see him talking about don't, look in the horse's eye and the rest of it. But it just, it didn't go anywhere. I didn't care. I didn't care enough about anyone in this film. I started off at first watching his dad die. I thought, right, okay, that's a strong way to start. But then outside of that, and I think it was even more kind of confusing with this subplot showing Dupe's story. Like, it just didn't work. For me, it didn't work. And I was very bored in this film. I think Jordan Peele is I can tell he's a very smart guy in it. He's very smart. But like we saw with Nolan, I think there's a thin line between trying to tell a story in a very smart way and actually just making something that's codswallop, in my opinion. And that doesn't go anywhere, doesn't entertain, doesn't do anything. Obviously, going off the back of your previous works, I know a lot of people will be sitting, I believe more people will be sitting on my side of the fence with this was dead, as opposed to someone maybe sitting on you guys' side thinking, oh, there was a deep element, there was this, there was that.
Els, do you know what you say that? I'm just looking at the metrics of Nope, and it got 30 odd thousand votes on IMDb, and it got a 7.4,
which we'll get into later because it shares the same rating as Bullet Train.
Yeah,
Anyway, we'll get into
82 and 82% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
So it's done well. Maybe do you know what? Maybe it is the whole animal lover or the caring element that has captivated people. I don't know. I'm just saying it from my point of view, my perspective.
I think that it's I think it's one of these films that's Marmite. Maybe Jordan Peele is Marmite. Literally, you'll either it's not for everyone, but there are some people that absolutely love it.
Yeah, and I think the majority of people.
I'd hate to meet them in a dark alley. I tell you.
I think the majority of people is more deeper than just like going out there to watch a film like Bullet Train where you don't really need to think. I think that's probably the differences. Whereas a lot of people might, this was actually quite deep, and start having conversations. That's when I watch it with Toast, I start having a lot of conversation with her afterwards about, what do you think this mean? What did you think that mean? And that, I like a film that will challenge me to have those sort of conversations after the fact. So that rating makes sense.
Granted, but that doesn't. Yeah, no, it does. It does. My opinion. I think, well, that's any film should make you do that. Do you know what I mean? No matter how deep it is, no matter how late it is, I think any film is a talking point of discussion.
The film was about animals. There was an alien. I liked the difference. I can give you my rating now, and we can carry on by day. Like, to be fair, I'm not gonna go watch it again, but I've watched it. Thumbs up.
But I feel like you haven't. I feel like you haven't discussed anything about the film. You've just said, you were entertained, maybe
because there was elements of it that I liked. It was very simple. Like, for me, I told you the elements that I liked. I liked the change from juju to sci-fi, because I like sci-fi. It was a big part for me. It was a bit. I wasn't expecting that.
At what part did you think there was juju though?
That's what I was going to ask. There weren't
in
no
my
juju.
mind.
There wasn't any.
If it's anything that says horror,
had you had a drink when you went in there, Maury?
I had never had a drink before I go to cinema. But like I said, anytime I see horror in my mind,
cinema with you blatantly been drinking.
I don't know what drink. What water? Yes, of course. I drink water like a
Sicario 2.
Okay. We did not go to cinema to see Sicario 2.
No, me and Amari, we went to Sicario 2, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, with me.
Was you there as well, Giles?
Yeah, I was there. That's the first time I met Amari.
Well, I thought that was mile 22.
That was the first time I bloody met you fucker. What's wrong here?
Yeah, didn't we go like Fulham or something?
Went 02.
Is it 02?
Yeah, it's always 02. It's always 02. Or Wandsworth. But anyway, back to the matter at hand. I like the film. I didn't really get many of the messages. To be fair, I won't lie to you. I saw the biblical quote at the beginning. I realized it was a biblical quote, and I was like, ooh. I don't know if it's going to be the film for me because I'm a bit sway. But I said, okay, let me respect it. It was very slow, but it reminded me of Ad Astra on its slowness for me. I won't lie. I can give it.
But even with Ad Astra, like, and again, look, we're talking about two different themes here in one sentence. Well, actually, that doesn't matter because you could have a film in space and it be slow and boring. Because I don't think Ad Astra was. But even with Ad Astra, it didn't go too long without something happening that created some sort of suspense or questions.
But Ad Astra is quite linear.
Yeah, but it's still boring
in terms of its.
You could be linear and boring. You could be unlinear
this
and boring.
Isn't linear.
I found it boring.
Yeah, but okay. But this.
Yeah, but you're crazy with that shit.
Fair enough.
So it's okay.
I found Midsummer boring.
Yeah, but
we can go back and forth.
You already.
We
So
can
you
go
want to
back
trigger
and
me,
forth,
and I'm not going to be.
We can go back and forth
by these slanderous.
Exactly. It's been 2 years. Listen, it's been 2 years. Just allow me, okay? If I want to get you, if I want to start triggering you, then allow me to trigger you. I've not triggered you in 2 years. Like,
no, you haven't watched it with the correct eyesight. It's okay. It's not your fault.
So again, what I said earlier on about the fact that each kind of, for me, each individual character was kind of had their own kind of symbolism and whatever. Daniel Kaluuya's character, OJ, for me, it was like, okay.
In what sense?
He just, for me, he kind of represented black people in the sense that, the bit where, I mean, he clocked very early on, like, yeah, don't look at the alien. And there's shit that goes on and we're just going to, be submissive, bow our head, just like, and hope it doesn't, doesn't engulf us, so to speak. Yeah.
But even before that, even just based on when he said his name's OJ and the reaction of the woman.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. The raw, really, like we've already and even that the actress's response was kind of like, hang on, we've already had an OJ.
Exactly, scared,
I'm a white woman
based off the name.
Have you got any gloves on you or whatever? Do you know what I mean? Just based off the name. But yeah, but then there are times we know as black people that we've got to kind of we have to look into the storm. Do you understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, we got to know when to say, nah, this shit ain't for me. So I think so his like I said, my only real issue on reflection with this film is the fucking pay. It didn't warrant.
It's only 2 hours.
Is it 2 hours? Well, it didn't warrant the amount of time.
What, you think it could be done? You think it should be done in an hour and a half?
No, I feel like there was a lot. I feel like there was, especially in the first half, there was too much. It's like, okay, if it was a game of football, you have 45 minutes. You have 45 minutes, 90 minutes across the board. I felt like this was 70 minutes and then 20 minutes. The second half was 20 minutes. So the first half for me felt like 70 minutes, and then the second half felt like 20 minutes. And that is my biggest issue. Like, why did it take? And it was like 70 minutes was like 0-0. Nothing was happening. Like, yeah, they're just passing it along the back. And then by the second half, like, now everyone's attacking. That's what it felt like to me. And that, for me, was the biggest issue. So by the time we got to kind of the grand reveal, okay, this makes sense. I get what's going on now. I understand. You kind of, I'm like you, Els. I'm kind of tapped out. Like, I don't care anymore because you've just taken 70 minutes to get there.
Yeah, and that's why I say you probably won't. But if you watch it the second time, because I'm going in, I know what it's about.
Well, I will. I just won't. I won't. I mean, if I tell you the journey, sorry, Carl.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying if I go in, and the second time I went there, I knew obviously what it was at the end, so now I can actually sit and enjoy it and actually unpick everything that's going on. Like even the first 5 minutes, there's a shot of everything that's about to happen within the film. It shows the flags, it shows the horse, it shows the whistle. He set up, that's what I say, you have to watch it again to really see. He sets up how the movie is going to end right at the beginning. So there's things I was appreciating. I was like, raw, I didn't, and you wouldn't clock that because you don't know what's going to happen. But when you watch it again, trust me.
But I think that again, and this is my thing, yeah, because there's certain tropes that filmmakers use in bare films. And I'm not going to say that a film is good just because it's doing something that a lot of films kind of do. I'll go back and watch this again. And granted, you're always going to see things you didn't clock, and you're always going to hear things like, oh, okay, but is that enough to suddenly change my opinion of a film which fundamentally took a long time to get to something which I don't think was executed in an entertaining way? I just thought the film was very boring. Even if you want to look at, like, for example, the script, the way they're talking, nothing was, and again, Keke Palmer was one of the annoying characters, but she played her part well. Again, Kaluuya, you know what to expect. There was the only role I've seen him play where I've been like, nah, he has just acted out of his shoes, was Black Messiah. Judas and the Black Messiah. I thought that was brilliant. That really showed his level of acting. This, with no disrespect to him, but it's almost like he's coasting. Like, he knows, I can play the kind of cool, mysterious character. I'm not really saying, like, there wasn't anything in his performance that I thought, oh, that's a great performance. Keke Palmer did well. She kept it very light, consistent. Outside of those two, what's there to really say about any of the other characters in the film? Am I going to remember their performances? Am I going to remember anything about them from the film? No, I'm not. It was boring. It was boring. But anyway, I'm giving this film 2 stars. Outside of the way it looked, there's not really much else to say. No performance really stood out for me. The plot was, it was quintessentially, we've discovered an alien life form. We need to make a decision on what we're going to do with it. And I think the way that was executed was poor. The messages in the film, as I said, the main one that I picked up on from Amber was the whole care to animals. And I think that's a very good message. You don't always, I couldn't tell you a film where that's kind of been the theme. I don't know if you boys can, but I like that he did that. I like what Amari said in, highlighting another sort of pivotal, what's the word? Like a black person that has, has their bit in history.
A black moment that has influence.
Yeah. That has exactly that we don't hear about, you don't speak about. So I learned something from this film. I was like, oh, okay, that was cool. But outside of that, in terms of entertainment value, rewatchability, it's low for me. So I'm going to give this film 2 stars.
I'm going to give it 2 stars as well, but only because, because of the pacing and how long it took to get to the point. I feel like, I used a football analogy earlier, but I just feel like if it was equally done in terms of slowness and then, gathering pace and stuff happening, then it would have probably got a 3, and it would have probably got an enjoyment from me. So would I watch it again?
I agree with that.
Would I watch it again? Do you know what? I probably will watch it again. The fucking rigmarole it took me to watch this film is a madness. I didn't watch this. I didn't even watch this at Cineworld. Yeah, I paid. I think I paid to watch it.
There's a lot.
I did. I just there was extenuating circumstances.
Okay.
I mean, all in all, I probably spent about 40 quid with Eats to fucking watch this movie. But yeah, it's a 2. But I will. I already know there's Cody versions pending. So I'll if someone's got Cody, can they? I'll come to their house and watch it.
Kyle, what are you rating this film, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 3 stars. Similar reasons to Giles. I didn't like the pace in it. It took a bit too long to get to the point. But again, I did enjoy. Upon second watch, I did enjoy a lot of the messages that I kind of missed on the first watch. As I said, I thought the way the alien was shot was beautiful, and the way he sets up every single scene, there's a certain eeriness that was surrounding the whole film, which had me a bit uneasy. So I enjoyed it from that aspect. I thought, again, like I said, the performances, they were nothing special, but they were solid. And again, when I watched Keke Palmer, I was like, she's just annoying me. She's annoying me. But then she's meant to be playing the annoying little sister. So I'm like, okay, she's doing her job. So on that basis, I was like, oh, fair enough. Didn't like the guy from the warehouse, the tech shop. He was a bit annoying as well. Didn't really understand why he was even in the film. But even with him, again, the theme for him was about privacy. They told him not to watch the camera, but he still done it. So that's not. We haven't gone into it. What did you say, Omari? Idiot.
Idiots, boy. Idiot.
Carl, did you not think that with what was his name? Was it Angel?
Yeah, Angel. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you not think with him? His whole thing was, I don't want to miss out. I don't know what's going on. I know something big is about to happen, but I don't like his whole. Because
do you know what it was? For me, it seemed like, why was he so intrigued like that? They went into the store.
Because he didn't want to miss out. He was a nobody.
He's an inner.
That didn't want to.
He is an inner, but I was like...
Yeah, he was too inner. He was too
like,
inner.
okay, yeah, you go into a store, you're buying video equipment. They don't really want to say. Does that mean you then like, okay, he's onto something?
Because he got real comfortable in their house real quick.
And I didn't understand his initial obsession.
And his aftercare was second to none.
If only it could be like that. Oh, he was on job, but I didn't think it really fit his initial stage. So, but he had his own themes as well. So, yeah, all in all, I'm gonna give it 3. I thought it was okay. Second watch was a lot better than the first watch. But yeah, the pacing just let it down.
And Amari, what star rating you giving up?
2.
Hold on.
Is that all you're saying, Amari?
Hold on.
Listen, right? It's a film that centers around animals, and I think it's about horror. Then turns into sci-fi.
He thinks it's about horror.
Is it about animals though, or is it
because
about
every
Hollywood?
time I saw a picture of it, it's about a fucking horse. So there's an animal in it.
But what did the horse represent?
Animal.
Hollywood's. Anyway, we can
Animal.
have a conversation another time.
No, we can have a conversation right now. This is wrenching. Yeah, mine, not yours, mine. None of you 3, mine. There's an animal. Fuck the animal. Goldfish only. Goldfish is too much. We're thinking about it, but fuck it. We'll continue our day, right? It gets 2 stars because I did like it was entertaining. Hey, so what do you want me to do? I respect it.
I just wanted you to elaborate a bit more. That's all.
I didn't elaborate enough for you. Do you want more elaboration?
Listen, Carl, we've been rolling. Listen, we've been rolling for 57 minutes and 9 seconds, and the most elaboration Amari's done is to fucking disappear from the recording. That's the most elaboration he's done. It's a slightly subdued. What's happened to you, Amari, in the last 2 years? I feel like you're holding back. Like what is going on?
Yeah.
Is there like a fuck it? I'm gonna get Jordan Peele on the phone and he can do a movie about what's happened to Amari in the last 2 years because something's amiss. You are you're suspiciously subdued.
I'm a quiet guy from South London.
Fuck off, are you?
Not every quiet guy.
Clearly, he's Jordan Peele. He's been influenced by. He's got his influences. I think.
Wait.
Go on, Maury.
No, so who do you think he's been influenced by?
Okay. So, what's my guy who done? Is it George Carpenter?
All the horrors.
Yes,
Day of the Dead.
That's Romero.
Sorry, that's Romero.
So the Thing. Yeah. So there was elements. So there was kind of elements. If anyone's seen The Thing, classic movie. Ironically, it features. Is it David Keith?
Yes. Yeah.
It features David. Yeah. Is it David Keith or Keith David?
Yeah.
No, Keith David's the white guy. David Keith's the black guy.
Dad.
Yeah, who features the dad. Keith David. Yeah. Also, a little part of me feels like, especially the second half, with the whole chase, with the whole alien chasing them and the rest of it, I got Jaws vibes, man. I blatantly got Jaws vibes. That whole if you go back and it's like the simple, enemy, prey, and do what you got to do to get away.
So that gives Nope a TMRG star rating of 2 stars.
Film number 2, Bullet Train, released on the 3rd of August 2022, directed by David Leitch. We had Brad Pitt as Ladybug, Joey King as Prince, Aaron Taylor-Johnson as Tangerine, and Brian Tyree Henry as Lemon. Ladybug is an unlucky assassin determined to do his job peacefully after one too many gigs gone off the rails. Fate, however, may have other plans, as Ladybug's latest mission puts him on a collision course with the lethal adversaries from around the globe with connected yet conflicting objectives on the world's fastest train.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
I'm looking at Charles' face. And I'm thinking the same thing.
And that was off IMDb.
Is that off IMDb?
Oh, yes. Okay. There is even more that I chose not to read because I could feel the fucking tension in the room.
I don't know what room you're having tension in because you're in your own room, so I don't know what tension you're feeling. But all I know.
Nah, that was IMDb. I couldn't shorten that down, but yeah, these days.
Leave it. It's done now.
Leave it as it is. I told you this is what happens because I like the script to see.
Listen, Els. Don't beat yourself up over this because we know.
That's it. It's your fault, but it's okay.
No. Listen, Els. Don't beat yourself. I refuse to allow you to beat yourself up over this because we know. This is episode 18, yeah? We know, we said long time ago that everyone's going to have to host. So
it's true.
When certain man's in the hot seat...
I don't know who Giles is looking at right now.
That laugh, well, I can't look at you because your camera's off. But that man knows who he is.
It's going to be a long...
You can hear him laughing. Opening. It's going to be long.
Just know, that opening is going to be about 15 minutes.
I still remember man saying... Three billboards of that's I still remember that.
The Russian woman.
I remember, man was reading.
Hey, trust me. Hey, when it's in Russian, it's hard. It's okay. Don't worry.
Anyway,
were you entertained?
Oh hell yeah!
Kyle, were you entertained?
Yep.
Giles. I know you were entertained, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Were you entertained?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
That makes 4 of us. Full house. Who wants to kick this one off?
Well, since Amari's spoken the least, I think he should go first.
Hey, man.
That's true.
You see people rolling around. You see knives. You see swords. You see a train that you can't even see if you blink your eye. What more could I want?
I think first thing for me that needs to be said is Brad Pitt is the man. He is the man. There's never been any doubt, but even at this point in his career, and he's still got it, man. He's still got it.
He does.
And well, we've said this before. We've said this in previous. He's always just playing himself. I get the feeling like he never. He's one of these actors that it seems so effortless. You know, we said it during Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Ad Astra, he literally is just playing himself. Like you could lift that character and just put him in another movie that he's been in and lift that out and like you could just swap him around.
I mean, we've all got roles to play in life. We've all got achievements to have, but
unlike Ryan Reynolds, who seems to do the same thing, but not.
But even Ryan Reynolds has his place. Even that's what I'm saying. At this point, even Channing Tatum. At this point, these guys like. They've given us classic films, and I think in a film like this,
not Channing Tatum, but
you don't think Magic Mike is a classic film?
Magic Mike, nah.
You don't think that's a classic film?
I gave that 3. I gave it 3 stars. Yeah, I gave it 3.
Okay. I think for what it did and for what it will always be remembered for, I'd say.
You're giving that 5 stars, yeah?
I'm not saying it's a 5-star film. I'm just saying it's a classic film.
A classic has to be 5 stars. What do you mean?
Not necessarily.
Wait.
Not necessarily.
That's impossible.
Not necessarily.
How can it be a classic if it's not 5?
Why was it a classic in your eyes? We've gone so far off topic, but you're saying things that are crazy. So we need to make sure we get this on wax.
I would disagree. I would say Magic Mike is a classic film. I just like that films like this can be made where these actors can have cameos and it's almost like it's breaking a bit of a fourth wall. Like, we know Ryan Reynolds is not a great actor, but he lands in these films and plays these roles and it's become like almost like a sort of a gimmick almost, and I like that. It's just adds to, for me, it adds to the dimension of the humor and the comedy in the film. But anyway, the point I was trying to make is Brad Pitt was born to act. He's up there. He is up there. One of the greatest actors of all time. He's incredible. And for me, I didn't see the trailer. I think I saw the post, but I didn't realize it was actually him in this. And then when I saw he was in Strut, I was like, okay, right, let's see where this goes. Very soon into the film, I just knew, yeah, I'm going to love this. I'm going to love this. There's too many entities to talk about.
As soon as I saw the Japanese guy from Last Samurai,
The old one,
the one from Last Samurai,
the granddad.
yeah, I was like, yeah, I said this is gonna be a serious film. Whenever he's about, I'm like, yeah, I know it's gonna be serious.
But to be fair, I remember us doing Godzilla and we saw another Japanese guy and we thought he was a serious guy.
I was wondering where he was. I was where's Ken?
You can't make these statements. You're making these statements willy-nilly. People lose their straps after a while.
No,
so
but he hasn't lost his straps though. That guy, Sonata.
Yeah, because wait, was he in Last Samurai?
Yes, he's the guy.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he's the main.
He's the main friend, the main sidekick.
Because
yes.
it was his friend that Tom Cruise killed.
Or brother or family or something. Yes.
Yes.
Because, he holds that against him.
Yeah, until he
and then
respects
at the
him. Last Samurai. Fast, anyway, yeah.
Guys, we keep on going off topic. Can I just say, we're here to review Bullet Train. Yeah, so can we stick to Bullet Train, please? Thank you.
But you know how bullets work? Sometimes they do angles and they do curves. You see in Wanted, we're doing bullets and we see the train curves. We're just doing the same thing. So we're going to get there.
I just wanted to appreciate him. I liked seeing Hiro Nakamura because I haven't seen him in a long time as well.
Hiro Nakamura.
Yeah. So that's why I was wondering where Ken was. So I thought, okay,
what a character.
Japanese. I know Hiro. You can't go wrong with him either.
Charles, what did you find entertaining about the film?
This movie was, it could easily have been like an animation. But then, obviously you watch the movie, you think, oh, this is wicked. And then you see the director, David Leitch. Yeah, David Leitch. And then you look him up and then you see what he's done previously. You're like, okay, that makes sense. He's done Deadpool. He's done Atomic Blonde. He's done John Wick. So yeah, like obviously he's probably done them with in collaboration with others, but yeah, this
he also produces a lot as well.
Yes.
But I did the same thing because I recognized the name from the cast because I knew we'd spoken about him before, and then when I'd done the research, I was like, okay, now it makes sense.
It was non-stop, and if you don't understand something, hey, we've got a flashback for you to explain how we got in this way. Which I have not got a problem with it, but especially when it's so well done, and it just keeps on moving.
Well, that's a metaphor right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It keeps on moving, like the train.
Yeah.
I think that might have been part of the theme because even just to add to the point you're saying, Giles, even the flashbacks, they were done in such a way where normally a flashback you might kind of feel like you've got a second to breathe from the main story, but every flashback in this film was like a next scene, but we're talking about something that's already happened, even to the point where they ended the film with a flashback. Like, just brilliant.
Well, absolutely. Like everything was linked. It was linked seamlessly. Even when you didn't feel that something needed a link, they gave it a link. I've not got a problem with that. This is for me. This is popcorn flick at its finest. Just sit back, strap yourself in. We're gonna take you on a ride. Nothing is impossible because we're just gonna go where we want. Do you know what I mean?
Perfect slice of action.
Yeah.
I haven't laughed like that in a film in a long time,
and that is without even. I mean, the action scenes, the fight scenes, core. They were really well done. I know it's green screen, CGI, heavy, all the rest of it, but who cares? Because the end result was so well done. There are many films, Godzilla, that do this, and it's awful. It's absolutely awful. Too much CGI that doesn't work. I mean, we are trying to think off the top of my head. Other than Godzilla, we've reviewed some CGI heavy films, and they've been dog shit. Do you know what I mean? Whereas this, it was, I thought it was brilliant. I really did think it was brilliant.
To add to that, Giles, I think part of the reason, because I've really thought about this, obviously this being one of the first films I've seen back, and me personally, I think it's just good storytelling, like from a base level, where I can almost imagine they've written the story. Yeah, no, it's a simple linear story, and they've built and they've built and they've built and they've built, but not forgetting that foundation of A to B. That's the story. No matter how much we bring in other characters, and this all has to come back to the main point. Let's keep that theme strong, because then when you've got such a strong, you're keeping it strong, you can go where you want it to go. You can get crazy. You can have flashbacks. You can have constant action. You can have all these whodunits, twists and turns. And even like with the element of the snake, where it's like, what's going to happen? Like, okay, we know what's going to happen when they get to Kyoto, but then they're adding in more, they're adding in more, but it just all wove together perfectly to the point where almost sometimes these kind of films, you almost feel let down with the ending. Yeah. But the ending, it kept it up. Yeah. It literally took the ball, carried it to the net. Perfect film for me.
Yeah, the ending, it was good, but there were... I didn't have many issues. There was the one issue I had was when who was it? Aaron, that guy, his character, Tangerine, when he got left off the train.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
That's it. And then he ran and jumped onto the. I was like, no,
that
was a bit too much for me. That was a bit too much.
But then
comic book feel for me.
But then it is. But then.
Everything else I could take, because everything else was unrealistic as well. But I could take that. But that scene just went. It just took it slightly too far.
No,
you took them lot surviving that train crash, and you was like, "Oh, that's okay."
No, that's what I've got. No, that's what I've got as well. That's what and that's why I said at the end,
guys. Can I just say? Can I just say? I know
I'm nitpicking though. That's it.
You are nitpicking. Do you know why you're nitpicking, Carl? No, that is nitpicking. The reason why that's nitpicking, we've sat through fucking 9 Fast and Furious movies. Fuck off. Like, no, that's
but I know that shit's unrealistic. I'm watching it as a new thing, and I'm trying to enjoy it as a new thing. When I'm watching a franchise that does dumb shit that go to space.
This film was making fun of itself. It did not intend for itself to be taken serious. And this is what I'm saying. Amari, this is what I'm saying. There's certain films, aka Nope, that want to be taken seriously. We've got a meaning. There's symbolism. There's this. There's that. There's underlying themes going on. This wasn't none of that. This was, listen, there's a case that needs to be retrieved. There's streets.
There's gangsters. There's knives.
Yeah, like there's all sorts of things. There's all sorts of things going on.
Okay,
it's all extraordinary, and that's fine.
Because even just I wanted to say in terms of the crash, Amari, like even that was comedy. The slow-mo of Brad Pitt getting flung through it's comedy.
I'm not saying it wasn't funny. Yeah. I'm not saying comedy. All I'm saying is just I couldn't even try to imagine him staying alive. Any of them staying alive with the carts rolling around.
But why would you be thinking of serious probability when
it wasn't serious probability?
Amari, have you seen Kung Fu Hustle? Amari, have you seen Kung Fu Hustle?
Hey, that's one of the top 10 greatest songs ever made.
That's action comedy.
Yeah, but see the difference.
Carl, am I wrong? Carl, am I wrong? Is that not action?
That is action comedy. Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Doesn't take itself too serious.
Man has a rubber lip for about 15 hours.
We're not reviewing Kung Fu Hustle. It was just me giving an example.
Just letting you know.
Can we get Amari?
Man has a rubber lip.
Hey, someone boot him and add him back in because he's gone off on a tangent.
No. I'm a tangent king. Anyway, my favorite scene of Bullet Train is when Tangerine died, air quotation marks. Lemon was like, oh, my brother. And they was playing I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles in the background. And it just made my heart melt. Because I was like, these fuckers get a film. They don't understand. Oh, these guys are from the East End. Hey, what the fuck? They actually did research. They played correct music at correct times. I was like, how dare you do this? How dare you make me like this film even more? I was like, this is outstanding shit. Out fucking standing.
I think the music as a whole was great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The way they used the music in the film was brilliant.
No, it was, but it was just I wasn't expecting Afro and Bubbles, and it wasn't even done like as a crowd singing it. It was done with the orchestra, and it's like,
It
I
touched
was
you,
like,
yeah.
you motherfuckers! I love that shit.
To be fair, because one of the notes I wrote were one thing I love about these kind of films are the London geezers are international, bruv. You will see them playing those villainous characters in all films. But one thing I'll say to you, Mari, I do feel that it's like, you know how people from America especially have certain connotations of what Londoners are like, and East Londoners specifically. Like, you're going to support West Ham, you're going to be over the top with the Cockney, you're going to be dressed, you know, smart.
Have you watched The Boys yet?
I wasn't too...
Have you watched The Boys?
But have we not had this conversation? Brilliant, bruv.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Of course I watched it. Butch. But anyway,
Butcher, yeah.
But that's another point which kind of brings me into the next point. The only thing I was a bit kind of... I didn't understand was Lemon didn't really seem to grasp the London accent properly. I don't know if you picked up on that, but I don't know if he was, well, he must have been portrayed to be from London because they were there as kids, but he almost kind of went a bit brummy at certain times, went a bit northern, and I was like, it seems like a lot of actors do sometimes have problems trying to nail that East End accent voice, but the pairing was brilliant. Anyway.
But then hold on, see, you know what? The reason why I bring up the reason why I bring up The Boys ever so quickly is because obviously the Butcher character is this, you know, he's played by a New Zealand, Carl Urban, and his accent is over the top. Like, it's not supposed to be taken seriously. So I feel like if it was a serious film, then you could kind of critique their accent. But yeah.
But I'm only saying that as someone who obviously we know East Londoners, we know when you're doing that accent, it's just something that's going to get picked up on. Like, again, the classic Charlie Hunnam and Green Street, you know.
In today's society, I feel like even East Londoners don't sound like East Londoners. Like, everyone kind of...
That's true. That's
like,
true. No, it's true. They're dying breed, innit?
I feel like everyone's accent is a hybrid of whatever it wants to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm not too... I don't care. As long as I can understand what they're saying, you know?
Yeah, I'm just... Because Amari specifically pointed that out, that's what I was like. The only thing was I thought he kind of lost it at times. But favourite scenes for me... It's tough, but I think I'm going to go with, because I know what Giles is going to go with, so I'm not going to, because we watched the film together, but I'm not going to say what I think you're going to say, Giles. I'm going to go with the whole Bad Bunny sort of scene where it shows, so obviously Brad Pitt opens the door and then you see Bad Bunny and he hits him, and then it shows how he's got to that point. So it shows that his mum died, he joined the cartel, he's doing jobs, he finds a wife, then the wife and everyone dies, and then he's like, I'm going to swear with it. And it was that fast pace, that bang, 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 to hear, I'm on the train, I've just hit you in the face, now we're in a fight. Like, that scene for me, I loved it.
I do have a question. Why did... So, obviously, we saw the picture, it wasn't Brad Pitt who killed off his family, yeah? Why the fuck would you try to kill Brad Pitt then?
Because remember, he was standing in for Carter. Remember, Brad Pitt took the job because Carter had the shits. Yeah?
No, not that part. Not that part. I mean, when Bunny or the Mexican Donny took the picture out, and it was the girl. It was the girl that.
But he saw him at the wedding, didn't he? He saw him at the wedding.
Remember, he bumped into him. He bumped into him as the waiter.
But he was given the picture of who he had to kill, who killed his family. So why would he kill that one?
Yeah, but because he was there, innit? And he's like, now it's too random. Why are you now?
Because he's the only one that didn't die.
Carl, what's your favourite scene?
Yeah, do you know what? I didn't write down a favourite scene. Because I just loved all of it.
Most memorable.
Probably the most memorable was, or what I felt the most again, was when, I keep getting Lemon and Tangerine, but when, Lemon actually, the white guy anyway, when he did actually die, I felt that scene, man.
With the sticker as well, because he's like, you're Diesel. I like that scene.
Yeah, the Thomas the Tank Engine thing was brilliant. I really enjoyed that.
It was very weird, but I was like, I like this. This is some dumb shit that I would do. I can't lie. So I was like, this is some shit I can relate to.
It was brilliant because do you know what it is? It's so silly, but it's the truth, because even the creators of the cartoon or any cartoon, they will create characters to try and teach children certain things about people in it. So it makes sense. But I've never seen that before. And even the way that, again, it's the nuances in it, like the little put it on the girl. You're the diesel. Like, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Brilliant. Giles, favourite scene?
I've got two.
You know, only allowed one. You know the rules, Sam. Come on. I know it's been 2 years, but you know the rules. Or if you're smart, then you'll say one's my favourite, the other one's the most memorable.
And if your memory's good, you'll remember that I don't fucking abide by any rules. I do what the fuck I want, when I want, how I want anyway. So I've got two. So the first one's just, I mean, there were two fight scenes. The first one was when Bad Bunny's character, just the way his death was absolutely hilarious in terms of, you know, he he had a knife that he threw at Ladybug that bounced back and stabbed himself. and then he got his neck broken by accident because he fell. Like, that was ridiculous. But then my utmost favourite scene was the fight between Ladybug and Lemon, which was, and then you just had the woman who was telling them to be quiet.
Yeah.
It almost reminded me of kids, you know, two siblings having a fight and like kind of thumping each other up in silence because they know if they get caught by their parents, they're both going to get fucked up. And actually, even you had the intermission. Sorry, I'm going all in. That you had the intermission between in Tangerine and Ladybug when throwback to the boys, but Kimoko comes in. The actress who plays is it Kimoko
Kamiko
in the boy? She comes in and my man orders a water and gets my man to pay for it. That's fucking genius. This time they're trying to. This time they're trying to kill each other. Yeah. So those are my favorite scenes. There was a few of them. One thing I didn't like and I thought was a little bit underwhelming was, and I was surprised by this, was Michael Shannon's character. You know, he was kind of built as this big bad. You know, was it White Death?
Yeah.
But I just found his presence. You know, Michael Shannon. We've spoken about him. You know, I know he's one of Carl's favorites. Brilliant actor, but I just found his, you know, a Russian infiltrating the Yakuza. Yeah. And then he was just underwhelming.
I thought the reveal of him, I thought it was going to be someone a lot more famous than Michael Shannon.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. The way they were building up, I thought, right, when this is going to be someone big, I thought it was going to be a massive cameo, like a Tom Cruise or someone. I thought it was going to, and then I was like,
See, I didn't care who it was. I just felt like his presence, you know, because they'd almost built him up to be like this Kaiser Soze type character, and it maybe because I went with that, and then Usual Suspects my favorite movie, but yeah, it just fell flat. It did just feel flat, and that was probably my only kind of minus against the, you know, for someone who was, he was in control of everything, you know, he was pulling all the strings, he'd set up everything, you know. Maybe he didn't have enough screen time. I don't know. Maybe they didn't build him up enough.
See, for me, I get what you're saying, but I'm on the other side of the fence in the sense of I don't think this film needed that. I think Mike Shannon, again, he's stellar in it. You know you're going to get a good performance in whatever role he's playing. And I think that it was almost as though the storytelling and the way they built him up, they built up this mad villain. And then it just felt very comic bookish to me. But even in the sense of the villain isn't really the biggest part of this story. It's more the journey. Because when we get to Kyoto, you know you're going to have a showdown. And I personally didn't think, where we've had so much action, so fast paced, I don't think it needed this sort of big grand spectacle. I kind of liked that it was someone that wasn't a big name. He didn't really have much to say. I got connotations of, you're old now. Do you know what I mean? You're still bad, you're at the top, but now you've got everyone working for you and you're running off the back of your reputation, which you built as a young, hungry guy. especially when we saw the elder, and the elder was like, yeah, I used to work with this guy. So I kind of knew, like, okay, it's not going to be someone who's going to come in and do a madness. It's going to be quite a subdued ending, but I think they did enough. And even Shannon, the screen time that he had, for me, still brought across some sort of like dark humour. The way he delivered his line, the monologue with his daughter, I thought was quite funny. Like, I think he done what needed to be done. I didn't expect it to be Mike Shannon as well. So when I saw the review, I was like, oh, okay, that's. I like that they've picked him to do this.
So did anyone look at the origins of this? Because it's
no.
So it's a novel.
Okay.
Okay.
But when I read up on it, it said that it's based off a Japanese novel, but the characters were all Japanese, so that would make sense for it to be set in Japan. But then when barely any of the characters were Japanese, it kind of didn't still make sense. Like the whole film is quintessentially Japanese based on the fact it's a Japanese novel, but then you've changed all the characters. Kind of didn't make sense because you basically could have set it anywhere if you think about it.
Okay, wait. That's a fair point.
True, because it could have just been on any train going anywhere, I guess.
But okay, 2 points. First point is, this seems like a good adaptation of a Japanese something, or no, a Southeast Asian something.
For Hollywood.
It seems like a very good adaptation. That's my perspective. That's my first comment. My second comment is, as much as I hated the character, the daughter is my favourite character.
The daughter who's quintessentially an anime schoolgirl character.
Yeah. And I know how you're making this sound, but that's not how it is.
I'm not. No, get your mic. I don't know what you're.
I need to put the disclaimer right now, just for clarity.
No.
If anybody listens later.
Listen, R. Kelly, get back in your cell. We're not talking about that. The reason, what I'm saying is, if she's an anime character, that is quintessentially Japanese. So it would have made sense to just keep everyone Japanese.
No, I just like the adaptation of how she presented herself. She acted like when she wanted to be a villain, she was a villain. When she wanted to act to get away with something, she was acted. And then when she got dismissed by her father, she just took the dismissal and went home. Literally. And I was like, oh, this makes sense. Because I was thinking, if you are, because the way I understand Japanese culture, and I could be wrong, so shoot me later, not now. She tried to disrespect, and man was like, no, I know you were trying to disrespect, but I know, and I've worked it out, and I've made it useful for me. So I was like, now go home. We'll talk about this later. And she killed her brother. She killed her brother because her brother. It wasn't even a backhand. It was like, why? Why are you here? Come, do better. Go away. Make another plan. And she killed her brother to feel like she'll get power.
Do you know what? See, Giles, I'm going to have to... You've just reminded me of something, right? I'm going to have to do a Giles now. My other second... my second favourite part of the film was the scene where White Death explains everything, where he talks about fate and he talks about, so this happened, which is why I'm doing this, and this happened, which is why I'm doing that, and you kind of see all of what's happened, which has brought everybody to the train. It was like that kind of big reveal. And again, it was very, very, straightforward, but it was just so well put together. And even the way that Shannon delivers that scene, I was like, okay, like he's a man. It's obviously he was a madman to start, but he's a man who's gone mad because he's lost the woman he loves. And look at what he's done to try and now get revenge and repair that situation. I thought it was great. But on the whole Japanese thing, Giles and Murray, I think, again, look how many good stories and good films have come out of Japan that have had Hollywood counterparts and just not been up to scratch. We already know these guys can do this way better than Hollywood can, but for this specific film, I think the way they did everything, the whitewashing of the film, and I can't even say whitewashing because you had, the Hispanic in there, you had obviously there was black actors in there. It was quite well rounded. It was well rounded for Hollywood, I'd say. They've taken a few notes in the 2 years they've had off.
I agree with that as well. I like the fact that again at the start of the film I think they were speaking in Japanese at the beginning, so there was little. Because it's not based, obviously it's based off the novel, but it's not based off a Japanese film. So I like the little bits of Japan that they did throw in there. So yeah.
Star ratings. Amari, what are you rating Bullet Train?
Yeah, I'm giving it 4 stars because Hey, certain man was surviving things they shouldn't have survived, and that upset me. And it's not that Kung Fu Hustle. Just to clarify, Kung Fu Hustle was a great film. This is also a great film, but this is not Kung Fu Hustle. However, I will say shout outs to Brad Pitt. I will say shout outs to the black guy. I was like, oh, he was kind of funny. Not funny, haha, funny, but funny like. Was it the same black guy in Long Shot? Or was that another one?
I can't remember.
No, I don't think he's in Long Shot. He was in Joker, Child's Play.
That's cool. Anyway, I give it 4 stars. A solid 4 stars. Enjoyable 4 stars. Watch it. Hey, watch it with your fam. Watch it with your friends. Watch it with people you don't like. You might like them afterwards.
Kyle, what are you rating?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 4 as well. I thought the action was perfect, comedy perfect. I wrote on my notes. Every single cast member was enjoyable. Literally, I didn't have an issue with anyone in the cast. I liked the two cameos in the film as well. I thought were hilarious. Just it was so random as well. I just thought, yeah, I like this. And yeah, I think it's a very enjoyable movie all round. I can't really fault it. It's not 5 because of the things I nitpicked. In the grand scheme of things, I can't fault it. But there's tiny little things that I'm like, it's just not quite. Well, yeah.
Hey, listen, you know the motto, man. Your rating's your rating. Your rating is your rating. Giles, what are you rating Bullet Train?
I'm going to give this 4 stars as well. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, you had the unfortunate experience of having to sit next to me whilst I watched this, and I laughed nonstop. You know, through this film. You know, it was like rod. I didn't think they still made films like this. So it was refreshing to watch. Like I said, as I said at the top, it was high octane. You know, there wasn't any lulls in it. I like the way how they linked everything together. All the actors and actresses, you know, I thought they played their parts really well. Bar Mr. Shannon, who he's a big boy actor as well, and I just felt that maybe he could have had more screen time. Aaron Taylor Thomas, I thought he was brilliant in it as well. He kind of reminded me of what's my guy from Trainspotting? He reminded me of the character from Trainspotting, Marcus Bigby.
Oh, what's his name again?
Robert Carlyle.
That's the one.
Yeah. But yeah, I
was he the main guy from Kick-Ass?
Yes, he was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I hadn't even looked at his filmography.
I didn't clock him by face, but because I know the name.
Oh, didn't you?
Okay, it's him.
Yeah, because I remember that was the films I loved when I was younger.
I hadn't done the research. Wow, he looks like a big man. That's just I've just had a moment of like, okay,
he's grown, and obviously, do you remember the accent conversation? It's the accent conversation is part of it as well. It was like, I need to do English. Whatever English it is good English, if that makes sense. So you did it well.
Remember, Kick-Ass came out in 2010.
12 years, boy. Feels like the other day. Mad. Crazy. So yeah, I'm going to follow suit as well. This was a 4-star film for me. Only reason I can't give it 5 is because I think it just missed that tiny little cherry on the top. The really, the pizzazz that takes something from brilliant to great or outstanding. But it was a great film. Again, for me, laughed all the way through. Solid performances all round. Loved the casting as well. Action scenes were great. The throwback scenes, loved the way they were portrayed. David Leitch? His style of making films, I think, is, for me personally, I love it. I love those kind of keep moving. What's this? New character. This has got a backstory. Now you're going to see it. Love all of that. Another thing I wanted to say as well was, again, being one of the first films I've seen in a cinema since the pandemic, for me, this was, for anyone who may still yet to go or is maybe thinking about, not sure what to go and see in the cinema now, this is definitely something I think you need to go and see in that kind of social environment. Because I remember even you saying you were laughing, Giles, I was right there with you laughing as well. But also there were numerous people in there, and it just felt nice. It was a great film to just go and experience and have a laugh with people, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's a very social film, I think, is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, Brad Pitt, one of the greatest actors of all time. And at this point, where obviously he's having fun. You can see he's having fun, and I think he's well more than earned the right. But yeah, he was brilliant in this. So yeah, 4 stars from me.
So that gives Bullet Train a TMRG star rated of 4 stars. And that concludes episode 18 of Those Movie Review Guys. Do remember to subscribe. You can find the podcast on all major streaming platforms under the name Those Movie Review Guys. And don't forget to get in touch with us as well on all social media. You can find us at TMRG Podcast. Those Movie Review Guys, we out.